Welcome back, everybody. I'd like to break us into the next video in our VPN section. We're going to be taking a look at DMVPN Phase 2 with IKE version 2, where it's going to be a pretty simple lab, really. We're going to simply go to CSR3, we're going to turn No Split Horizon on, and make sure that we get the configuration up and running, and we can do spoke-to-spoke communication, but it'll be through the hub. So let's go ahead and get that done, and we can do some of our trace routes and verify that all of that's working. So none of that other stuff should be broken, or everything should still be operational. If we were just to jump out of global config and do a show crypto IPv2 SA, we should have multiple SAs up to 6, 4, and 5, which we do. And actually, one thing that I need to go do is go to global config and do show IP interface brief. And no shut, or interface tunnel 13, no shut that. So we can bring the tunnel back up to the BGP peering that we had to ASA1. So that should come back up here momentarily. So what I'm going to go do now is for interface tunnel 100 interface tunnel 100 is actually, I'm running named mode EIGRP, as I think I am. Whoops. Do show run section EIGRP. Yes. So that means I'll have to go underneath router EIGRP VPN. VPN. Address family IPv4 autonomous system 1. And then underneath the AF interface of tunnel 100, type in no split horizon. So that will resynchronize the connections and get that all up and running. We go back to ASA1. And we do a show BGP. We have a bunch of BGP routes, which is what we wanted to see. So we know that we had that BGP peering up and running to CSR3. Now if we go to CSR8 and we look at, for example, this route right here, we're going to see a number of additional routes. We're going to see all the stuff for all the other locations as well. Specifically, if we look at EIGRP, we're going to see a bunch of EIGRP routes. We're going to see stuff going for CSR4, so on and so forth, ASA1, etc. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a trace route again, but this time instead of trying to go to the headquarters location, let's do a show IP interface brief. And we're going to go to, I'm going to trace to this location right here, which will be testing out connectivity to CSR4. Now, again, this is going to be hub to spoke to hub. Spoke to hub to spoke. So we don't have to worry about direct connectivity to any of the other branches. So that'll be a nice thing about that. So what we're going to go do is I'm going to hit the up arrow a couple times, and I'm going to pull this guy out, plug this address in, and then hit the trace route. So we should go from 5 to 3 to 4, which we do, and we shouldn't go anywhere but directly to CSR4. So we're actually coming back to ourselves. I mean, and you guys know this from the previous videos, where we go out 8, we come down to 5, we jump across to 3, we go back out to 4, we come back in, and we hit 8 because we're doing per VRF separation. So because of that, we have a lot of flexibility. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the whole setup. If I was to come in here and, say, for instance, do the, I don't have anything in the VRF for ASA1, but if I was, like for example, I could come in here and do this connection right here, I should be able to go show IP route VRF S111, and in this case here, I'm not running EIGRP between 8 and ASA 1. I think that's its IP address. Show interface IP brief 10.8.11. So sorry, that's going to be this on 8. This will be not. That'll be this. There we go. So I am learning a bunch of routes that way. So I theoretically should be able to go from CSR8, I should be able to do a trace route VRF S5 to 10.8.11.8 numerically. So I should, again, trace route to myself. I go up to 3, come back down to 8. So it's a little weird because the ASA does not show up inside of the trace route. It's a little unorthodox. So it does work. We are showing up in our in the trace route, but we are going through the ASA. So the traffic is actually coming out 8, going up to 5, going down to 3, jumping across the BGP tunnel to ASA 1, and then coming across and then jumping back down here. So it does work. That is phase 2. There's really nothing more to it than that. I just wanted to prove that it was working. So, and it is. And so what we can do is back on here, let's go to CSR3, for example, and we can jump at show crypto IPsec SA, and we'll do a peer to 51.0.0.5, pipe include PKTS ident. So we're going to have traffic coming in this way. So what I'll be able to do is do that same thing again, but this time here I want to ping VRF S5 10.8.11.8 numeric, or and repeat it like 100 times. So if we look back here on 3, we can see that we have a number of pings going, or a number of hellos going back and forth. Let's go ahead and execute that ping. So we go back to 3. We should have that number should dramatically increase because we're sending a bunch of pings. So it is actually being encrypted as it goes across the wire, and that's the point that we wanted to try to make. So we know we have spoke-to-spoke communication, but it's all hairpinning through the hub. That's pretty much it for phase 2. Phase 3, pretty much the same thing, except we're going to have to pay attention a little bit more because we're going to have direct spoke-to-spoke stuff. So until next time, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me in this video, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.